Neil, where are you?
Strugsville, Arizona, population me.
This race was clearly going to be won by not the fastest, but whoever could stay on track the longest.
Gal, I've crashed!
Marshall! Marshall again? We're not really good at this, are we? Gal, just run up the run up the thing and then put them down the other side. Neil, look at my car on the Neil! Neil, check it out!
It's not working!
Neil! But don't go the wrong way! Yeah!
I feel robbed.
Oh, I've won, Neil.
It's just that I've got nothing.
Car's not working. About it. First choice. I'll have that. Let's be honest, these are getting a little bit boring now. Whether Ali's here or not, the results are the same. Me in first, Neil in second, and Ali in third.
With that settled, it was time to leave the track behind and head towards our final destination. From Merida, we'd be travelling an hour east by car to one of Europe's premier specimen carp fishing venues, the world-renowned Lake Oriana.
Oh my days.
Oh, it looks incredible.
This is a serious, serious place, Neil.
Look at the size of that.
This lake is epic on all levels. Created in the 60s by the damming of the River Guadiana, and it's huge. At 12,000 acres, it will test even the most skilled angler. Its vast waters stretch on for 14 kilometres. It has hundreds of bays to explore savage rocky terrain and brutal conditions that will not just test our gear, but ourselves. This place is not for the faint-hearted.
The lake holds hard-fighting wild carp stocked nearly 60 years ago. Due to the excellent water quality and abundance of natural food, these carp have grown to massive sizes, with the lake record being over 80 pounds. Fishing here in early spring before the carp have spawned gives us the chance of catching the fish at their heaviest. But after an unusual snowfall the previous week, temperatures are still extremely low, making this one of our toughest challenges yet.
Go and have a look, shall we?
That is a powerhouse of a carp like that, Neil.
It just looks massive.
It's a serious, serious place. Look, I'm very, very excited about this. It's going to be dark in probably about an hour's time, so I suggest we get the kit out, we stay somewhere nearby for the night, buzz over there, put some bait out, because our spot is over there, apparently, which is a long way off. So put some bait out ready for the morning and get ourselves over there tomorrow, first light. What are you saying? Let's do it. This is the place to be in Spain. There really isn't any other waters like this. In fact, there probably isn't any other waters like this in the world. It's been a long time coming. I'm really excited to get going.
As this lake is so vast and with such limited time, we have enlisted the help of local anglers to advise on locations and also prepare areas by pre-baiting spots. This is vital to give us the best possible chance to catch these carp. The spot we're heading to is only accessible by boat, and as light levels were fading quickly, topping up the area with bait is all we can do today.
The carp are fed, bring on the morning.
The next morning, the gear was packed, the boat was set, and I was ready, unlike someone else.
Neil, hurry up.
Well, if you helped a bit, we'd be a bit quicker.
A lot of this lake is only accessible from the water, and to get to our fishing spot, we'd have to travel 20 minutes by boat.
This is when it starts to feel real. We've got a boat absolutely laden with all our tackle, all our bait, and you know it's just a matter of time, just a few hours probably, before we get to put our first rigs into the mighty Oriana. This is when the excitement really gets me.
This barren beach is where we'll be calling home for the next week.
Touching down on Base Camp Delta for the first time. I'll tell you what, it feels really good. We're literally in the middle of nowhere as well.
We were fishing about halfway along the lake by a large bridge to an area that was a hot spot at this time of year. Time to unload the boats and get this fishing underway.
From the minute we got to the area and started to set up, I don't think I've ever sat in such an idyllic location. It's almost silent, it feels absolutely perfect, and it just feels like something special is going to happen.
I think a target, first of all, for us would be to catch a 40-pounder. A 40-pounder anywhere is a massive carp, and there are certainly fish in here that big. So I think the first stage is 40-pounder. If we can go past that, we'll be very, very lucky men.
The conditions here are extreme, and we needed to make sure our gear was up to the task. To combat fishing at distances over 200 yards, we were using 30-pound braided mainline with little stretch giving us better bite indication. We were also using 50-pound extra tough monofilament leaders for added abrasion resistance against the harsh, rocky lake bed.
For rigs, we were using big gripper leads to help hold bottom, strong 25-pound boom hook links attached to a softer section of supernatural braid to allow free movement of the size 2 crank hook. And to top it off, we were using large cell-wafter boilies critically balanced, which have been soaked in a variety of pineapple, orange and berry gooey liquid attractors.
Right, it's Al. Spooner, it's Al. What's happening?
All right, guys.
Your view's nice, isn't it?
Well, it's a little bit nice. Sorry, mate.
You can't beat that, though, can you? Look. What's the crack then? Rod's out yet or not?
Well, we've set up, mate. The bivvies are up. The rods are ready to go, but we haven't got the rods out yet.
You think if I was there, like, things would be, like, more seamless, or do you actually think now I'm surplus and you're now the deadly duo and the tremendous trio are no longer?
You're really not needed on a fishing front or a logistical front anymore. We'll see you next year.
It's awkward, is that the time?
Go on, boys. Oh, yeah, honestly.
At the bottom of my stinky foot, I'll wish you every bit of luck, and if I get to speak to you again, I hope it is
With something very large in your landing nets, yeah?
Much love, Al.
See ya.
It's a bit of a shame, isn't it, really? No?
It was now time to get the rods out. We'll be fishing at extreme distances beyond casting capabilities. As electric outboards are banned on here and the noise of motor engines scare the fish off, we were going to use bait boats. A stealthy approach which not just allowed us to place our rigs with accuracy, but also allowed us to bait our chosen areas as well. After attaching a dissolvable PVA bag of bait to the hook, we then fed it into one of the boat's 2 hoppers. Next, we added free offerings of cell boilies, response pellet and tiger nuts.
Final touch before I send it out into the water is just to give my hook bait and the little package of bait around it an extra boost. I want that to be the most attractive thing in the swim, which equals, hopefully, a quicker bite.
Using a remote control, they sent the boat out 200 yards to the pre-baited spot. The boat has a sonar device attached, and this allows them to find useful info on the lake bed, depths and features.
But it's a specific depth they've said to look for. Once it starts to get over 9 metres, you're in an old, I think it's an old riverbed they were telling us, and that's the area that the carp they use as their almost route when they're finding their way around this particular part of the lake.
Once the spot has been located, a simple push of the lever releases the trapdoor of the hopper, allowing the rig and bait to fall to the lake bed. This is a devastating tactic, but when done properly and in the right conditions, is a serious edge.
Did you start freaking out when it was right out there?
Yeah, like, I couldn't tell which way it was going.
No, but I mean, was it, if you went left, did it go left?
Like I said, when done properly. Eventually, Dovey mastered the art of navigation and got his rods out.
Right, well, there we go. Rod number 4's on the spot. I think Dovey's got one more to do behind me. So let's get the bobbin on that. And we are pretty much ready to go. Well, almost. Can't forget Monkey, can we? Go on, son, do your job.
After what felt like an eternity, the rods are finally set. And as we go into the night, we had a good feeling that this was going to be one hell of a trip.
And later that night, I was woken from a deep sleep by my alarms calling me into action.
Got to be honest, I think this is either a really small carp or maybe a little catfish or something. But it's a bite, it's a start, you know, things are working all right. So the longer the fight's gone on, it's feeling more and more carp-like, if I'm honest.
Yes! Yes!
He's only gone and caught a mirror. We were told when we came out here that mirrors are mega rare, like maybe 5% of the stock, and I've caught one. How is your luck? I've got to be honest, when I first turned up and saw the lake and realised just how vast it was, you understand that without the help of the guides we'd be in trouble, but you still feel a little bit daunted by it. But when that rod goes off, it's all back to square one. You know exactly what you're doing. I've managed to catch a mirror as well. What a way to start.
The carp was retained safely during the night, and the next morning we were greeted with a spectacular sunrise, fitting for a grand reveal of our first Oriana carp. This wasn't one of the lake's monsters, but a rare mirror carp, With only an estimated 5% of the lake stock being this subspecies, it was probably the equivalent of catching a 60-pound plus common carp. And this one weighed a modest 22.5 pounds.
What an incredible carp. We've said it before, but weight really doesn't matter when they look as incredible as that from a lake that doesn't give up its mirrors very easily. Golden sphericals. You said.
Well, you can have a look at that mouth as well. You can see these fish very, very rarely get caught, if at all. Normally, you know, these mouths have signs of being caught, but these are basically virgin fish. Very, very special. We're very lucky to be here.
Whenever you come on one of these adventures, the first thing you want to do is get your first fish under the belt. And when it goes in the net, there's this massive wave of relief. We've done that bit now. I'm over the moon. On to the next one.
Our monster carp adventure was in full swing. We were now at Lake Oriana. Dovey got first choice to swim after winning the remote control car race, but it was me that drew